a little something about him. I think it's also that he's funny. I think it's the funny adds like +2 attractiveness, I think. Like I don't know. It is definitely, if you can make me laugh, like you get a +2 to that. Anyways, we're watching the real Blair Witch incident from Nexpo while I eat my Chipotle. We talking the Dornish Viper, Oberon Martell. Who? Only 2? It depends. I don't know, because like you can't. In my opinion, a lot of women don't agree with me. In my opinion, you can't funny your way out of being ugly. Oh, this is a Pedro Pascal character from Game of Thrones. He was in Game of Thrones? Oh, I haven't seen Game of Thrones, so I wouldn't know. He's pretty cute in that though. Excuse me. Yay! You can't funny your way out of ugly, but you can funny your way out of mid. True! I thought we were watching. Oh, wait, hold on. What's the newest one? Oh, Finland's. Wait, okay, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, maybe we'll watch 2 of them because Finland's most sinister unsolved mystery does sound kind of fun. He dies rather horribly. Spoilers! Just kidding. I don't intend on watching Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones feels like a weird show to watch since I know it ends in shit, so why should I willingly subject myself to being blue-balled? No, that's real though. That's real. It's been out for years. I'm just kidding. Literally, like fucking everyone dies in that show. Like that's not even that much of a spoiler. No, I always intended to watch it. I just could never get into it. And then like, it's the whole Ace thing too, was like, it's one of those shows where it's just, why are we fucking? What? Y'all can fuck. Can you do it off screen, please? Please, I beg of you. I gotta move my keyboard out the way to eat my Chipotle. I'm a messy eater. I just took a shower, bro. They gotta, in Game of Thrones, yeah, they gotta be related too. Love me my slop.
Well, to be honest with you, this isn't really about anything. This is about us.
Whoa, what? Excuse me? I wasn't even born yet. We're starting off strong with this one. Shut up, my bad. My fault. This is so unserious. This is so... Hold on, why am I...
It's a late night.
The fuck is happening? Why can't I pause this? Hold on.
The Walton Files blares on your bedroom TV, filling the void of darkness around you.
Guys, I can't pause... I can't pause the video. It wasn't letting me pause the video. What the fuck? Reload the page? Okay. Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, hold on. Something's happening. Wait, hold on. No. I don't think it's YouTube. Because I went to scroll up in chat. Okay, I still can't pause the video, by the way. I went to scroll up in chat, and it started making everything on... I'm holding the control button. My plate was on the control button. I moved my Chipotle plate. Oh my god. My bad. I was just say, Blair Witch Incident Walk so Cloverfield could run. Cloverfield is one of those series where it's like, the original movie was so good, and then they just fucked it all up, bro. And then, like, cause like, it had a whole, did you guys know it had a whole, like, ARG with it, too? Early backshots gets the worm. Thank you for the follow. All right. Okay. All right. Now, okay, we'll get back into the video. My bad. Yeah, the ARG was canon and they decanonized it. My food's gonna get cold, by the way. I hope you guys know. I yap too much. You took 3 hours to drink a cup of coffee? My bad.
What is this about? Well, to be honest with you, this isn't really about anything. This is about us.
Cold ass intro though, by the way. This is what that one Don't Scream game wished it was. She's small, she takes small bites. The curved monitor, bro, can't get with it.
It's a late night. Unassuming. Quiet. The Walton Files blares on your bedroom TV.
No, it's not. I still haven't watched that.
You.
You're lying.
Peaceful, comfortable, even.
No.
You scroll through Reddit, searching for something to pass the time.
I don't.
Out of nowhere.
I don't scroll through Reddit. No. Shut up. My bad.
A lone post by an Emerald Spring populates your feed. They're searching for something. Some sort of lost documentary called The Real Blair Witch. There seems to be so little information about this documentary out there and absolutely nowhere to watch it. I recall it being on TV, and there's 1 or 2 references to it out there.
Can't take the Walton Files seriously. The art style makes me clock out.
It's more of a true crime documentary. I'd love to see it again.
I felt that.
And it's frustrated me for years now, not being able to track it down. It must be out there in some archive somewhere, but I'm guessing its lack of availability kind of makes it lost. At first glance,
I'm gonna need drama I'm gonna need drama YouTubers to take note of the music playing in this background, because I can't fucking take it when people will be talking about some shit like this, or like some shit like a dramatic incident, and then they're playing fucking like Nintendo Wii Shop in the background. Like, please.
this seems relatively unassuming. Yet another lost media mystery with hardly a lead to go on. Yet the name, The Real Blair Witch, shrouds it in this weird tinge of dread. I don't know what it is, but something about the way this is framed, the lack of information, something about this has sparked something. Within their post, Emerald Spring provides a link to its IMDb page, revealing that there's hardly anything to go off of.
Flint, Michigan! Oh, God.
The page is barren. Just 1 review, a release year, and director. The only tangible bit of info here is the plot summary. A group of teens from Flint, Michigan film themselves kidnapping and terrorizing a new acquaintance before taking her out to the woods and dumping her in a shallow grave.
Is it on TV?
They're terrified
No,
and
I don't think so.
victim, asking if she had any last requests
I think this is like
before they cut her throat. But was the kidnap real?
It's on control again. Fuck.
Was the one was an extraordinary and
Don't look at my history. Don't look at my fucking history.
disturbing record of a night when something went terribly, terribly wrong.
The real Blair Witch. I've totally seen those. I think this is what is it? A snuff film? Hold on. Excuse me. I think this is like a snuff film. But you know, we'll find out.
Well, now you've got my attention.
Don't generally have IMDb pages. Can you name one and we'll check it? I can't. I've never watched a snuff film, so I wouldn't know. What's that one about like the bunch of like white guys that go to I think it was like an African tribe that hasn't really been socialized with humanity and then they get like cannibalized or something. I know that was one. I swear you Americans could hear any state or city and go, oh God, not that place. Like America's a wasteland where each city is some Fallout tribe. Okay. You can't say, when I say that about Flint, Michigan, you can't say it like that. You kind of have a point, but you also don't, because Flint, Michigan is extremely notorious and infamous because Flint, Michigan is the town in Michigan which I believe still doesn't have clean drinkable water. And it's been like a widespread like activism thing. Any snuff films, the ones where they get killed? Snuff films are like when real like gore and stuff is shown, I think. I don't know what the definition is really, because again, I never explored that. I was never that fucked up. That's uncommon in America. I wouldn't know the statistics, but I believe so, yes. We may say that so like, yeah, Americans are known for drinking their own tap water because there are certain things that affect our tap water. Depending on where you live. It's just like, it's widely known that like you can drink your tap water, but you probably shouldn't if you don't know exactly where it's coming from. US is a developing country and a developed country at the same time. One, a movie in a purported genre of movies in which an actor is actually murdered or commits suicide. Oh. A film that shows or purports to show the actual deliberate killing of one of the performers. Oh. Okay. Trivia, this special only aired once on April 15, 2003 on Channel 4 in the UK. Considering that it's a channel shown here in Ireland too, it makes sense. You think you've actually seen this? Because that's kind of crazy.
With such a graphic, visceral description of such an inhumane crime, curiosity in this case took off on Reddit. Comment after comment poured in, expressing interest in tracking this footage down. Most believed in its existence, others not so much. Regardless, though, the common theme here was intrigue. The Blair Witch Project, back when it came out, was horrifying, and the implications of someone recreating this in...
I'm sorry for pausing again. I'm in my YouTuber React era. There's something so unserious about using Reddit as like an actual like source of like information.
real life to torment a very real person sounds like it's straight out of a nightmare. What in the world did Emerald Spring watch back then? What truly is this? Over the following weeks, whispers about the doc's existence would trickle in. Mentions in online articles. A trailer on a production company called Raw TV's own Vimeo page.
Vimeo?
What really sent this mystery into
God.
the stratosphere was nearly an entire year later when a
Transbian
8787 would chime in with the revelation that no one saw
Love that
coming.
for her. Slay.
The real Blair Witch, as it turned out, was very real. However, once Pandora's box was opened and the internet began to sink their collective teeth into it, it was realized that this story is much, much stranger than anyone had imagined. The Real Blair Witch isn't just a film. It's a glance into one of the eeriest, most bizarre incidents that I have ever read about, ensnaring nearly everyone involved.
Oh my god, I'm fucking naked.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the event of an emergency, please walk to the nearest exit.
Oh.
Thank you.
Should I be smaller for this?
When the Blair Witch Project hit theaters in 1999, it didn't just scare audiences, it changed the horror genre. More than just a film, it became a psychological...
Yes, Silent Hill music, let's go!
What was real and what wasn't. The setup was simple. 3 young filmmakers set out to document an old urban legend, only to vanish without a trace.
Akira
What
Yamaoka,
remained
your
was the
legacy
footage
will
they
never
left
be
behind.
erased.
But unlike traditional horror films, this story had no scripted feel, no heart-stopping jump scares, just raw, unfiltered horror.
Wasn't the whole point of Blair Witch
improvised
supposed to be
dialogue,
like it was, you were supposed to be convinced that this actually like happened and they just like happened to show it in theaters or something? Collective Teeth sounds like some psychological horror where everyone is in some town, can feel what others eat, and sometimes they can taste human meat not knowing who does it. Bro, wait. You just like get this guy in Hollywood. What the fuck? Wait a minute. I would watch the fuck out of that.
and eerie silence between
Write that down, write that down.
as if it were set in reality. And that was exactly the point. The
Speaking of
movie,
cannibal
as you'd
movies,
expect,
I've been meaning to watch
began
Fresh because it has
sensation,
Sebastian
shattering
Stan.
records and opening the door to a completely fresh, realistic, and
I
raw
just
form
spit
of
shit.
horror.
You were
However, its
spitting. You
impact
spit.
stretched well beyond the film
It was
industry.
spat.
Suddenly, horror fans, amateur filmmakers, and thrill seekers were heading into abandoned locations and recording eerie footage. And the internet soon became a breeding ground for
Let's
low-resolution
go, Urbex.
videos claiming to document real paranormal encounters. Some were easily
Is there going to be a
debunked,
paranormal activity
others
mentioned here?
less so. And that's when things began to
My
take
bad.
a strange turn. Because when an entire generation starts
Would
to
you also
believe
feel
that
people
some of
giving
the most
sloppy toffee
terrifying
too,
things
then?
can become
That's
on a
crazy.
simple high-8 tape
Someone
It's
eats
only a matter of
shit,
time.
literally.
before someone tries to prove it. Alright guys, before we continue, I'd like to tell you about tonight's video sponsor.
Nope. Blair Witch's whole mimic was like, ooh, this was this real? We can't say. Ooh, yeah.
Now let's get back to it.
No free ads.
February 2002.
I still wasn't
It's a
born.
frigid night in the town of Flint, Michigan, and a 19-year-old named Danielle Taylor crosses paths with a 20-year-old Travis Peya,
Ooh.
a community college student with big dreams of making horror films. Peya shared a house with a man named John Cockrell,
Ooh.
another student and self-proclaimed horror fanatic. Their house,
Why do
it
they all
was
look
the
busted
spot,
as
per
fuck,
se.
bro?
the hangout for their tight-knit circle, which included a James Carwile, Christina
Ooh.
Love, and
Oh,
Derek
she's cute.
Faxlinger. At first,
I
everything
suppose it's
seemed
pretty
running
cool, but
well
unlike
within the
Nightmind,
friend
he
group.
isn't a furry.
Danielle
So it's a
would visit the
-1 in my.
house
That is so funny you say that, knowing because I know Nightmind. I've met the guy. He's so nice. He's so sweet, actually. I am not a furry, but I am a furry ally. White guys hadn't discovered fashion in the early 2000s. Listen, Zach Bagans begs to differ. Only the real ones will get who that is.
handful of times, and nothing seemed all that out of the ordinary. Just a few weeks later, on the night of March 6th, however, their entire dynamic would, out of nowhere, take a dark turn. By complete surprise, Danielle was
Paranormal
restrained,
guy? Yeah, the Ghost Adventures guy.
blindfolded, handcuffed, and threatened with murder. And all of it filmed on a single high-A tape.
Oh.
Say hello. Hi. Okay, I have a question for you.
The video opens inside a dimly lit house, bathed in the eerie green glow that can.
Ew, that guy's
School night
creepy.
vision camera. Danielle stands front and center, seeming a bit annoyed that she's.
Why do you
being
look like
filmed.
that?
Behind
Oh.
the camera is Travis Paya, his voice steady as he asks her a strange question. What would you say if you knew this was your last day on Earth? Danielle smirks. brushing
Dude,
off
that
the
guy looks
question
like he's fucking
with a simple,
possessed, bro.
Fuck you. There's a heavy undercurrent of something else, though. Something unspoken. A shadow moves behind her. One of the men steps forward, revealing something in his hands. A blindfold, maybe a gag. And the mood shifts. Travis prompts Danielle again, this time instructing to say ready, set, go. Sensing something is off, she refuses. Someone's behind her. Something is up here. She turns. Yet before she can react, multiple hands grab at her. She barely has time to respond before she's wrestled to the ground. She fights briefly, but it doesn't take long for her to realize
I'm so sorry.
she isn't getting away. Whatever this is, it's happening. The scene cuts. We find ourselves in a car. The lighting is bad. Again, night vision. Danielle sits in the back seat, blindfolded, scared out of her mind. She's stiff. Her
Dude,
face only showing fear.
such a fucking psychopath,
Christina
bro.
Long, the only other woman to appear in the video,
Ew, she's even worse.
she doesn't say much, just keeps her eyes on the road. At first, the guys verbally taunt her, but there's this edge to it. And then we see it. One of them, Jonathan Cockrell, has a knife, and
Oh.
it's pressed right up against her. They start asking her questions. Did you have a good life? Say your last words to your family. If you could go back in time and change anything, would you?
Oh, this is so gross.
Danielle hesitates. She tells her mom she loves her. She says she's sorry for everything. She tells those in the car with her that she has nothing to say to them. Nothing she says will be right anyway. No one reassures her. No one tells her it's okay. And the video cuts again. Deep in the heart of the forest, the camera follows as James carries Danielle over his shoulder. The group moves with a sense of purpose, heading straight for a spot they've already prepared. A shallow grave, barely 3 feet deep. They settle down
Oh.
before explaining what's coming next. They're going to cut her before burying her alive and leaving her to die. Travis stands over the pit, knife in hand. The blindfold that had been covering Danielle's eyes is pulled down around her neck, and she doesn't say a word. Following this, Travis kneels down, brings the blade right up to her, and then nothing.
Oh.
He never actually cuts her. He mimes the act of slashing Danielle's throat before she goes completely limp and pretends to be dead.
Congratulations, you're dead. Welcome to the afterlife.
Just like that, the entire mood shifts. The group starts laughing, giving each other pats on the back over what they had just done.
Yeah, whoever that guy was
They
who
turn
was
the camera,
in the
introducing
car,
themselves,
that he wasn't
explaining
acting,
their
bro.
roles,
That guy's
and
actually
so
crazy. I don't know.
They even take bows, grinning the
Jimmy
entire
the
time.
fat man.
Danielle
That's
Taylor,
so
as it
mean.
turned out, wouldn't die that night. Contrary to the knife being held to her throat, contrary to her being tied up against her will, contrary to her being thrown haphazardly into a massive hole in the ground. This was nothing but a stunt, a prank for a movie. Funny, right?
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Halting the recording, the group unties her, harping on just how realistic, how entertaining her reaction was. Surely, this will seem visceral enough to make it to film. This was their big break, their escape from Flint, Michigan, after all. For Danielle, though, she was far from fine. Just a few minutes before, she thought she was dying. She had nothing to laugh about here because the entire joke was solely on her.
I can't remember his name. Danielle.
So
That's
far,
crazy.
It's been easy to follow Danielle's state of mind throughout this. A woman trapped by those she trusted, a victim of an inhumane prank. However, that's where our central problem begins. Because was this all nothing but a sick joke? That is the question that soon becomes the heart of this entire incident. And the answer depends on who you believe.
Oh.
It looks like an ordinary day in the USA, but in the city of Flint,
What?
Michigan, all is excitement.
The fuck?
Even the small fry are buzzing.
I'm so sorry.
And the older boys and girls are let out of school. Oh, this is a day. The whole town's a bustle. Yes, sirree, there's going to be a parade, too. And what's a parade without festive bunting and gala decorations?
The city of Flint, Michigan is undoubtedly one of desolation. It's a place once bustling, lively, full of opportunity. Yet today, it stands as nothing but a shell of what it once was. When the automotive industry backed away, it left a void of broken dreams, families with shattered aspirations. It's depressing that something like this can actually happen to those who had no hand in the matter at all. Like we established, the Blair Witch Project shattered the world, sending audiences into a frenzy and inspiring loads of those with nothing but a camera to create something horrifying of their
Where was
very
Blair
own.
Witch originally?
The entire
filmed?
group maintains that they all had hopes, dreams to get out of Flint and to make something of themselves. And while they could have chosen a myriad of ways to do that, the film industry, for once in its near century-long history, felt like something attainable, a vehicle to a completely new life.
Wow. This is like 3 days later after they filmed, or 3 days later IRL? Confusing. Get a better
In the following
script.
days, Danielle Taylor,
There we
reeling
go.
from the incident on March 6th, would revisit the Paya home. It was done on invitation, a night for all of them to rewatch their masterpiece.
Dude,
Yet for Danielle,
everyone looks like a fucking freak in night vision, bro.
If you scream and you fight, we put a gag in your mouth and throw you in the trunk. If you relax and accept death and what's coming to you,
After the tape ran its course, she secretly swiped it, replaced it with another, and after the events of that night had wound down,
Get their asses! Get their asses!
to law enforcement.
As you
Within a
should.
week, the lives of Jonathan Cockrell, Travis Paya, Christina Lum, James Carwile, and Derek Vaxlinger, everyone involved in perpetrating this stunt, would change. They were all arrested, finding themselves awaiting trial on kidnapping and assault charges, and facing anywhere from 7 years
Yeah,
to
I mean,
life
they
in prison
literally did
under
kidnap
Michigan
her.
law. Contrary to their claims of simply aspiring to create a horror movie, Danielle Taylor maintained that she had no idea about any of this. To her, this was all very real, and given our glance at the footage, it's easy to empathize with her. Interestingly though, support for her wouldn't be unanimous, as once testimonies came out and the footage was given a second look. cracks in the facade begin to show. Danielle, at numerous points throughout the footage, does things that make no sense. She scratches her nose. She inquires on if the rope is tight enough. And just minutes after she supposedly thought she was dying, she can be seen laughing alongside the group.
I survived, and I'm freezing, and my arms hurt.
If you move anymore, I swear to God, I'm using a blade to do this. Alright?
A bizarre reaction, especially
A little
considering
bit.
the circumstances.
But maybe she's in shock.
Even still, a Lapeer County prosecutor named Brian Concha spoke to the media on Danielle's behalf, maintaining
His name is
belief that
not
she did not know that any of
Brian.
it was
That's not how
staged
you.
until
No.
the prank was intended by the participants, but the last party, the victim, was not in on it.
Maybe intoxicated.
Conversely, attorneys representing the accused said the tape shows that Danielle, in fact, did know that it was a movie, citing the fact that she never begged the group not to kill her, appeared to smile after the gig was up.
I don't know.
and
Maybe
had
she was
not
just like
once
suicidal.
told them to stop. She pretends to play dead for about a minute, one said. If she truly thought she was going to be buried alive, she would have struggled. As we can see, all we have here is a he said, she said situation. No one here ever knew the answer on if she were acting in this stunt.
I got so into the
Not the
video, I forgot to keep
prosecutors.
eating. My bad.
Not their lawyers. No one but Danielle Taylor. In the midst of an intense legal battle, Christina Lum had turned on her group of friends,
Oh!
accepting a plea bargain on a reduced charge of attempted felonious assault, and received a suspended 6-month sentence pending the completion of probation. Derek Faxlinger was ordered to pay a $200 fine.
Huh?
Jimmy Carwile received a 4-month sentence, while Paya and Cockrell got 8 months. All suspended sentences following the completion of probation. All of them inevitably served their
$200
time in
fine is
Act.
crazy.
However, in the end, another affliction entirely would
Oh.
befall them.
I love that he puts like Unity assets into his video.
Travis Paya, the group's
Oh.
ringleader, passed away on Tuesday, April 18th, 2006. Derek Faxlinger passed away on Monday, February 12th, 2007. And Jonathan Cockrell lost his life on Wednesday, February 19th of 2014.
Huh?
All of them were less than 35 years old. Almost like a curse, 3 of the 4 men involved in the real Blair Witch incident had died before their lives could even get off the ground, and any information surrounding them, barren. All that seemed to exist was hearsay, notably on the website My Death Space, in which
Excuse me?
Travis Paya's cause of death was speculated to have been caused by drug use. Furthermore, mentions of Derek Faxlinger come up in reference to an MLive article, which states that he passed away from an epileptic seizure and had his organs donated to those in need. Even still, though, nothing definitive on whether this came from the fallout of the real Blair Witch ever came up. Onlookers then were just as conflicted, just as confused as all of us today.
Sorry, someone in the audience looked really funny. I couldn't help but laugh.
For a while, it seemed like this was the end to the real Blair Witch saga. A lost media legend turned criminal battle that resulted in the loss of 3 lives. However, an entire year after the original Reddit post was made, a user named Beef Brothel emerged out of seemingly nowhere, shedding light on the deaths.
Come on. This is what I mean, bro. Like, this is what happens when you use Reddit as a resource.
Of their supposed friends. Derek, John, and Trav have all passed away. Derek had a seizure in the shower and sadly passed from that. His organs were donated and saved quite a few people. He was an extremely kind person and gave great hugs. Travis had a terrible tooth infection, and I'm not sure if that was the cause, but it was a contributing factor in his death. John was depressed. I can't deny that. His mother died and they were quite close, so his partying ramped up during the period after her passing. Another friend was with him that night.
I love it that you have some extremely serious topic and then you/Bussy Eater 69 chimes in.
They were celebrating his new apartment, and it was
Oh.
simply an accidental overdose. He was one of my best friends, and I'm still angry at him for being so careless, especially because things were moving in such a positive direction for him. None of their deaths were because of the pressure of the case. Jim and I still talk occasionally, but he moved to another state and lives a private life. He's a good man, and I think he was affected the most by this situation.
Jim was the
girl
one titled the fat
apologized to
guy,
him
right?
After the fact, and insisted that she never wanted any of this to happen. She was known to our graduating class as a notorious exaggerator before any of this ever happened. So there's that. Plus, she was young and was being told by a lot of authority figures that she had to go along with this prosecution. She claimed after the fact that she believed taking the video from the house would prove that it was just a joke and everyone would just get off the hook. She didn't realize that John was pausing the recording between shots. Part of me thinks she initially enjoyed the initial attention, but it spiraled way out of control. If I didn't know, these guys participated in these types of pranks on all of our friends weekly, made a dozen backyard horror films with them, spent all of my free
I feel
time
like anyone
with them
could, like,
for
say
years.
this, though.
I would think they were psychos too. That's just not the case. Jackass and Blair Witch were huge at this time, so it was kind of a mashup of the two genres to them. We all
I don't think that's how you put those two together, actually. You almost had me on your side, but I don't think straight up kidnapping is on par with Jackass. Like, that's not a fun prank, bro. Jackass and Blair Witch is a crazy combo on par with Coke and Mentos. Yeah, like, you were victim blaming, but like you were kind of like making a little bit of sense in terms of like your own experience, but then no, I don't know.
all knew that if you went to Rancho, you could get pranked. It's just how things were. They did almost the exact thing to another friend a week or two before, and she was the one.
See,
who suggested that they film next
don't
time.
think that.
Unfortunate.
Don't
This was
think
a
that.
devastating time for our group of friends, their families, and
Classic
loved ones.
Redditor take.
Visiting them in
True.
jail was bonkers. I'll never forget how sad they all looked and how many people came to see them. Everyone knew that they did not do this maliciously, except the prosecutor, and he was a real asshole. Long story short, it was a prank, and everyone except the law knew that.
Okay, but at what point do we just say sometimes you gotta tank the consequence? Cause like, I don't know, if you just go, yeah, bro, I kidnapped this girl, but it was just a prank. It was just a joke. I was just kidding, bro. Like, you can't, that's not a real defense. I don't care if she exaggerated or anything like that. Like, that's just not, you just can't do that. 5 upvotes. Crazy.
Say hello.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question for you. You just said hi. But if you had one thing to say, if this was your last day on Earth, what would it be?
Like, bro looks like a literal psychopath. I don't know.
The real Blair Witch incident is a bizarre, unsettling chapter in the history of lost media. A story that serves as both a reflection of our deepest fears and a reminder of the human capacity for cruelty. How far would you go for a chance to escape a place in which you have no future? Was Danielle in on things? Or was
Like,
she
I feel
truly
like you
terrified
just
for her
didn't have
life
to go to that
night?
measure.
I've always said that lost media, by nature, carries this enduring sense of mystery. And in my opinion, this one is no different. It is, and always will be, eerie. A look into the lives of intensely conflicted individuals. But if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that we may likely never, ever get our hands on the full original tape in its entirety. The story of Danielle Taylor will forever live on through the lens of news reports and documentaries. And in its wake, an unsolvable question. Did she truly know? Perhaps we never will. A lost media mystery that may never find a resolution.
This really was some slop. Yay! On to the next one. No, I genuinely do believe, like, I don't know. Even if she did, like, know, you could argue that it wasn't kidnapping, but, like, I don't know. I would believe that, you know, a bunch of kids trying to make it in film would high-key kidnap a girl for a prank. Sorry. I got so... this name... I... Anyways. Yeah, I don't know, because, like, I could absolutely see them be, and, you know, like, you do, I forgot who made the point. You do have a point in that, yeah, the zeitgeist, you could say, is, like, films like Jackass or Blair Witch and quote-unquote, like, found film. Like, you could reason that that would be an acceptable mindset to have back in 2002. Is, like, you know, you really want to make it out of your small town. You want to make it in the film industry, and, you know, 2 indie footage films did really well and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like, you can't just go, but it was just a prank, bro. Like, you have to, there's real consequences to kidnapping someone. And you know, this, you can tie this into, like, you know, fucking YouTube or Kick streamer, like, nuisance streamers who are just, like, film themselves being public nuisances, and but just, like, go, but, like, it's just a prank, it's just for views. I'm not actually like this, it's just a prank. Chill. Yeah, it's just a prank, bro. Like, no, like, you're actually harassing real people. Like, you do need to face consequences for that.